guys, thanks for coming back to our very busy You Can Too kitchen. Sorry we haven't posted for a couple of days, but we've had a few technical difficulties. Hopefully they're all over now, so we should be reposting as usual. Okay, today I'm making a spiced apple cake. In my bowl here I've got a pound of self-raising flour and half a pound of butter. Again, all the proper weights and everything will be up on the introduction if you want to have a look at those. To that I'm going to add another half a pound of caster. I'm just going to whip this together. You can do this by hand, but I find it quicker and easier to do it with a whisk. Just start it off on a low setting. Stage, just beating the butter into the flour and sugar, and I'm looking for sort of a fine breadcrumb texture. In my bowl here I've got 4 beaten eggs. I'm going to add them about 1 egg at a time and just start mixing that in. So that's my eggs in, and I've got 100 mils or about 4 fluid ounces of milk here. I'm just going to pop that in with it too. Because this is quite a large cake, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of mixed spice. One of my favourites, as you'll no doubt learn. Just going to get excess off of the beaters because I can't stand waste, as I've told you before. If you're worried about not completely incorporating everything, you can always just go around with a spatula and give it another stir just to make sure everything's well mixed in. In my bowl here I've got about 6 to 8 medium to large cooking apples. I've just put a little bit of lemon juice over them to stop them going too brown. And I know this looks like an awful lot, but the cake really is moist and gorgeous. I'm going to tip the whole lot into my cake mix and carefully, because you'll be throwing it all over the place, fold that in. The reason you're folding it in, it's not to save the air and everything, although there is a degree of that, but mainly it's because you don't want to lose all your lovely apple. Okay, I've got a baking tray here. I've put the measurements of the baking tray I'm using. This is a large cake. It's great as a pudding or cold just as a piece of cake. And I'm scooping the whole lot into my baking tray, which I've greased and lined, but I have put that on the comments thing so you can see what I've done. Right, I'm just going to smooth that out. As you've no doubt realised, I quite like rustic cooking, so it doesn't have to be perfect. This is good home cooking. It's not, you know, Michelin starred or anything. It's just stuff for people to enjoy. You can see the apples nicely evenly distributed. Get that bit of cake mix off the spoon or spatula. And there we have it. That's going into the oven now. I've put the oven temperatures on. I think it's about 190 for about 45 minutes to an hour. Check it after 45 minutes and just see how it's doing. Just press the middle. If it's like a sponge and it comes back up, then it's cooked. If it's still a bit sort of, you know, if it stays dented, then leave it for another 15 minutes. So I'm going to pop that in the oven and then we'll come back to it later. So we're back now and the cake's out of the oven. The house is smelling heavenly. Who needs air fresheners when you can bake? If you look at the cake, it's springing back up to my touch. Find the spongy bits, obviously. If you touch apple, it's going to sink. I'm going to leave that in the pan to set because there's so much apple in there. If I take it out, it's just going to fall to pieces. So I'm just going to leave it in there to set and cool. Hope you found this useful. I'm going to leave it in there to set and cool. I usually get about a dozen pieces out of that, but obviously if you want it larger or smaller, do it however you fancy it. And if you're really lucky, I may do a custard to go with that later. I hope you found this useful and I hope you've enjoyed watching. As always, like, subscribe, and apparently there's a little bell thing you can touch to get notifications, but I'm not the tech guy here. Just remember, cooking's not difficult. You can too. I hope you enjoy this and I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks for watching, guys.